Hello everyone and welcome to Plot Twists. So today I am going to do a book cover comparison video comparing some of the UK, Australia, US and Canada covers of a variety of different YA fantasy books. I was inspired by an Instagram user I follow. She is from the UK and always posts pictures of the book covers she has, and I noticed that there was a considerable difference between the UK and US covers, and I wanted to do a video kind of showcasing the differences in the two, because there are some really interesting patterns that I found in doing research. I do want to point out that everything that I found today does come from Amazon, UK Amazon, Australia Amazon, Canada Amazon, and US Amazon. So if the Amazon covers aren't correct, it's possible that my video isn't quite right. I know a lot of them are correct because, like I said, I follow an Instagram user who posts, and I recognize a lot of the UK covers. But if you happen to know that any of them are incorrect, if you'll just leave me a comment down below and let me know, I would be super interested to know. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So the two covers I have shown here are actually both US covers. I just thought that there was a considerable difference and they would be interesting for like a title slide. I am in love with this new cover for Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I still haven't read this first book, but I'm thinking as I go through the series that I will probably pick up those covers instead of the covers that I have now. So without further ado, let's dive into this comparison. So as you know, there's a lot of covers that are the same across UK, Australia, Canada, and the US. There was actually a lot more than I expected there to be, but as an example, Six of Crows doesn't change. Six of Crows is the same cover no matter what English-speaking country you're in. In fact, for that matter, all the Leigh Bardugo books that I looked up were all the same cover, which I found really interesting. So one of the first emerging patterns that I found in books that had different US different covers is, one, the US and Canada covers were almost always the same. In fact, I could not find a single book that was true of in the probably 40 plus books that I looked up. That doesn't mean there isn't any, just that I couldn't find any. For the UK Australia covers, for the most part, those were also the same, but as you'll see later on, there are a couple that I found that differed, and it's really interesting to see the difference there. And then there were a couple that I found in which the US, Canada, and Australia covers were the same, and there was a different UK cover. But talking about patterns, one of the first emerging patterns that I found is the difference between the UK and the US covers is almost always that the UK cover is physically more white, or lighter colors at least. You can see here with Throne of Glass, the basis of the image has not changed. It's simply the background color and the font colors, which I also thought were interesting. But the US cover has this darker gray tone to it, while the UK Australia cover is basically plain white. And that trend actually continues across the series. I found a collection of Throne of Glass UK books, and they were all had white spines. So that's kind of interesting. On a similar note, Serafina kind of has that same thing. One, the UK cover is infinitely better, in my opinion, than the US cover of this book. But it still has that light color theme with like a pop of color, while the US color is super vibrant and colorful, interesting, but much more simplistic as well. And I do want to point that out as we continue on. The US covers of a lot of these books just kind of look like overlaid graphics, whereas at least this one is much more intricate and hand-drawn. Serafina. This one I found especially interesting. Another one of the UK covers that's white versus the US cover that's much darker. But in this one, the exact opposite is true. The UK cover is much more simplistic, I think, than the US cover, which is pretty intricate. I don't know how well the picture quality is for you guys to see, but there's like a whole castle kingdom in here. And then there's a lot of intricacies with the crown that's on top. Well, maybe not the crown. The intricacies of the hourglass itself, which is really interesting. Same pattern with Ash Princess. The white cover versus the dark cover. More simplistic, more involved. I find it really surprising the number of UK covers that are light colored, and I would love to know like the marketing design logic behind all of these being light colored and these being darker or more vibrant colored. For the most part, darker colored. I don't want to say more vibrant because there are very few of them that have been more vibrant. It's just a palette difference. So after this, we kind of transitioned into some more differences, but I just thought this was an interesting one to include because it doesn't really fit that same pattern as before. And it actually looks like the kid on the cover, the Percy Jackson on the cover, has the same colored shirt, which I thought was really interesting, but the scenes are wildly different. Here you have like an almost rainbow transition scene from blue to like orange-ish up in this corner, while the UK cover is primarily blue. Just kind of interesting to look at the differences. Okay, now this one is so subtle, it's kind of blowing my mind, but again with the UK cover with the light color. The US cover is not even that much darker, but that's still a considerable surprising difference between the two. At first I actually thought that maybe it was just an incorrect image, but if you actually look at the wording and the distance from the crown to the letters, I mean, you see that it has to be a completely different a completely different cover. And it's kind of wild that they would change this cover in a way that's so subtle. What's the purpose of that? I don't know. So interesting. The other thing that I found really interesting about the Red Queen books is the UK collection. The spines look completely different from the US collection. I couldn't find a picture of the US paperbacks, but I have the whole series for comparison. So the US copies just get like a darker shade of blue into some gray as you go across. The UK covers are completely different. White, blue, red, and black. And I don't know, I like the red there with the pop of color it creates. I thought that was a really interesting design choice, especially for something called Red Queen. I never understood why all of these covers are blue. So, I don't know. Good job, UK books. The set that I found that were the most wildly different between the US covers and the UK covers, I think, are Three Dark Crowns. I showed off the first book in the series here, and the US cover is pretty much primarily black, with some subtle illustrations. On the other hand, the UK cover is like has a tint of red, and there's one single crown and some roses, which I thought was an interesting design choice. When you look at the actual collection, it is super colorful. You have the books even like transition colors across the spine, some of them, which is wildly different from the US covers. I have all of these as well, and if you look at them, I mean, they're all black. Nothing has changed. So I thought that was interesting that for these particular books, the UK books are super bright colored. I think these are some of the only ones that I'm not sure that I like the UK covers as much. I think it's kind of a dark story, and to have these super vibrant, bright colors, especially for Five Dark Fates with the yellow to the green and two dark greens with the yellow to the orange. I just think that's almost overwhelming. Not overwhelming. I think it's a poor choice, personally. I think I like the black covers here, but super interesting how widely different they are. Now, this is the one that I'm not super confident on, but in my research through Amazon, I actually found 3 covers. Now, I know that the US Canada cover, there was an older cover, and now the books are in this new kind of design. So I'm thinking possibly that might be what I found here with the difference between the UK and the Australia covers, is that this cover was the older cover, and this is what they're going with for the new books. But either way, these covers are so different. To be honest, I would never even guess they were for the same book based on the way they look. I thought it was interesting that the difference between the Australia and the UK covers even well, okay, I now see why. I was interested that they even say different things on the front. I did not read enough to realize that this is a Robin Hobb quote, but it's just so interesting. I think the Australia cover here is probably my favorite. I've never actually read Ember in the Ashes. It's definitely one of the books on my TBR. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and this cover is absolutely beautiful. So I'm thinking I actually might pick up the UK versions of these books. I don't know. And also another set that I found a different Australia versus UK cover is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Now this takes that design choice that has been present in a lot of the UK versus US books and kind of flips it, because the Australia cover here is the black with the red, and the US cover is white with the red accent. Again, one of those things where I wish I knew why they made this design choice, especially because they're so similar. On the other hand, the UK cover of Heartless is beautiful. This, whoever designed this is brilliant, because it is both simplistic enough that it's not overwhelming, but there's the red, it just pops in just the right way. I love the inclusion of all the hearts connected on the vines, almost like the hearts are roses. It's so well done. I love this cover. So that's all of the covers that I found to talk about today. Let me know if, especially if you live in the UK or Australia and you find that there are some differences in the covers you usually see. This is such a fascinating topic. And I think if there's interest, I might do a part 2 of this to talk about more differences in covers that I found. But overall, this was just so fun to research and kind of put together. So if you guys liked what you saw today, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what some of your favorite covers are, and I can cover that in my next comparison video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!